All right, UFC 318 was last night and it wrapped up with Dustin Poirier's retirement. I went 10-4 on the card, bringing my overall record to 186 and it's 92. So pretty good. I went 10-4 on the card. There were a couple of underdogs that I just did not see coming. Right, we had like 7 decisions in a row to end the card, which kind of killed some of the momentum. But overall, it was a pretty decent card. I'd say like a 7 out of 10. Poirier's retirement was very nice, thoughtful. Max Holloway kind of took him to school, though. I'm going to break down the whole card and just let you know what I think of the whole thing. Overall, 7 out of 10 card. Thought the prelims really carried a lot of this event with how sick the finishes are. A bunch of round one finishes. And then from Prado versus Retnikov all the way up to the main event, 8 decisions in a row, I think it was actually, not 7. So not the best, but some of those fights were decent. Let's start with the main event: Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier. I think Max had 2 knockdowns. Not gonna lie, you can either give him the moment in the second as a knockdown or the second drop in the, like, he dropped Dustin twice in the first. So this fight starts off and they're kind of feeling each other out at range a little bit. And Max ends up just sending a 1-2 down the pipe that is so fast that rocks Poirier and drops him immediately. I mean, the speed from Max Holloway in this fight was very prevalent. He looked very good. Not his best. Like, he looked better against Gaethje, but Poirier's a tougher guy to fight than Gaethje. It looked like Max was very aware of the lead hand power that Poirier possesses. And Max did a really good job. He was blasting kicks early, low kicks, middle kicks, and then he would throw the high kick a lot. It was really good. Threw a couple of spinning kicks, like his patented spinning kick always. And then Holloway did look good. He was kind of just sniping Poirier at range, landing the jab, then going jab, then down to the body. It was good. It was a pretty good fight. It was a pretty good fight. Now, there's going to be a lot of people being like, fucking banger, war, crazy. I mean, round 1 and 2 were sick. Round 1 and 2 were absolutely nasty. A lot of fun. Had great moments of them dropping each other. Then 3, 4, and 5 was really just Max outpointing Dustin at range the whole time. He was just jabbing, landing the 2, jabbing, landing to the body, throwing a low kick, stomping the leg, throwing a high kick. Just nothing too crazy going on. While Dustin lands like a 3-punch combination and then isn't really able to get much offense going for the next 30 seconds. And it kind of kept going like that. I do think Dustin did look weathered. He looked older. I think this could have been a 50-45, maybe a 49-46, because of round 2, Dustin actually almost got Max out of there. And the visual at the end of Max walking to the stool wasn't good. So 49-46 ain't a bad scorecard. 48-47 is. I don't know what the other round they gave to Poirier is. Thought Max won round 1 very clearly. I think everyone agrees. He dropped Poirier and was just honestly styling on him. Looked like he was taking him to absolute school, and dropped him bad in the first round. Almost had him out of there right in round 1. And I think that one woke Dustin up a little bit because just seemed like Dustin was rusty right there in that first round. He'd taken over a year off from being in the cage, right? It had been almost 11 months at that point. I'm sorry, almost 13 months at that point. It was 13 and a half months, I think, at that point. So it kind of woke him up. He just didn't look like he was ready for it. Then round 2 comes around, and Max is just beating him up again for the first 4 minutes of this round. First 4 minutes, Max is just piecing him up on the feet, left and right. Ends up dropping Poirier again. They didn't give him a knockdown, but he did drop Poirier. Had some good moments where he's going for good ground and pound. Max's ground and pound did look good. Almost got submissions at moments here, which was fucking sick. But yeah, Max, at the end of round 2, all of a sudden, Dustin Poirier starts moving forward and lands a great combination and drops Max with a right hand. And that's where I was like, oh my God, Ilya did take the chin. Max still got it, though, because Poirier gets to mount, starts landing great elbows, great ground and pound elbows, and then the bell rings. Close. Max almost got finished in the second round there, which would have been terrifying because then you're like, wow, the chin is gone, blah, 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 blah. But gets kind of saved by the bell a bit there, and Dustin can win round 2. Should have live bet because I knew that wasn't fucking happening again. And Max got to a point where he was like plus 200 after the end of round 2, and I'm like, dude, he's going to fucking still steamroll Dustin, but it is what it is. Yeah, so Dustin... It could have won round 2, but round 3, 4, and 5 was just Max just picked it back up, outpointed Dustin at range. 3 was a little bit closer, but It was still a Holloway round, and this is exactly how I called it. I said it was going to be a 49-46 Max Holloway round. There's going to be a round that you're going to give to Poirier. I thought it would come a little bit later in the fight, like round 3, and then there was going to be a close round that people are going to be like, well, you kind of could go to Poirier, but it's really going to go to Max. I did call this fight perfectly. It was just Max styling on Poirier for 5 rounds. Poirier's just, I mean, he's older, he's weathered, and it's not necessarily the age. Like, he can still beat a lot of these guys in the division. He can. Like, I think he still beats a Fiziev, probably. He'll beat a Bahamondes. Like, but, you know, Max is one of the better lightweights in the world. He showed it again. And Poirier just, he looked slower. Like, he did look, I don't want to say geriatric, right? He looked like a slower old man, you know what I mean? Like, this was his last fight, and he was out there just to perform for the fans. Didn't really care how it ended up going. It was just, he was out there to perform for the fans. Now, Poirier is going to be a top 30 fighter of all time. I need to make my fucking GOAT list at some point. Because that was a big topic of discussion when Lucas Tracy did his, and everyone started putting theirs out, and that would have been the time to crack at it. But I'm just going to do it late. It is what it is. Poirier just, again, looked older. Max kind of styled on him the whole fight. And then we did get a good retirement montage for Poirier. He gets his flowers. And that's what was important here, is like making sure that he got the respect that he got. I will say, dude, crowd was kind of an L. Did not think the crowd was that loud, that entertaining. It was just, I expected a lot more from the crowd, man. I'm not going to lie. I was a little underwhelmed with how the crowd was. They weren't super loud the whole time. Even at the knockouts in the first round, it just wasn't too crazy. So, I don't know. Didn't love the crowd. Max kind of is like, anyone, I'll defend this BMF belt against anyone. And also, like, I got beef with the champion. So, Ilya, UFC's your next move. Blah, 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 blah. UFC, it's your next move. Don't want to see Max and Ilya again. Yet. Now, if Max goes out there and gets 2 more wins, gets a Charles win, gets maybe a Patty win or something like that, or maybe just a Charles win, right? And then Ilya already defends against an Armin or a Patty or a Justin. Then I'm saying, all right, you know what? If he goes out there, he finishes Charles after schooling Poirier, he has wins over Gaethje, Poirier, and Charles, you might as well give him one more crack, maybe. We'll see. But, like, he can't get a title shot again right now. I don't want to see that. We just saw it. He got knocked out by Ilya. We don't need to see it again for a bit. We don't. Fresh matchups for lightweight. So, I think Max versus Charles is going to be the fight to make. You're going to see that in my matchmaking video that's going to come out tomorrow. Paulo Costa, man. I picked right, dude. I remember I was flip-flopping back in the prediction video going, dude, I don't know why. I don't have logic. I just think Paulo Costa is going to be able to get it done. He did. There's nothing much to say other than he took Roman Kopylov to school for 3 rounds. Schooled him for 3 rounds. Started and was very, very active early. The kicks were very good. Landed a lot of good inside low kicks. A lot of good outside low kicks. Then started blasting body kicks. And they were money. And then he threw the hands upstairs. And he ended up dropping Roman Kopylov at one point in the first round. Really badly. Almost got him out of there in round 1. So great. I mean, it's overall great performance by Paulo Costa. I mean, he just took him to school for 3 rounds. Beat him up in every way. The boxing, the kicking. Roman Kopylov had a little bit of a better 3rd round, but the first 2 rounds, he was just sitting there, like, bouncing up and down, not doing anything, and he would just stand right in front of Paulo Costa, not move that well, and just be a punching bag. And Costa was able to figure him out, was able to be active, put Roman Kopylov on the back foot, scared him with some danger. I mean, dude, Paulo really took him to school. This was like a vintage Paulo Costa performance, which just goes to show, like, Paulo kind of got it. He just hasn't given a fuck within the past 3 to 4 years, which is a little bit sad to say, but it's kind of funny as hell. It's kind of very Paulo Costa-like. Now, I don't necessarily know what's next for Paulo Costa. We'll come up with that for tomorrow's video, but took him to school. He took fucking Roman Kopylov to school, dude. And Kopylov's corner was egregiously wrong. Round 1, you know, you were fixing it a little bit at the end of round 1. You know, round 2, he started swinging in your favor. You had the momentum. And then round 3, we got to go win this round. Bro was down 2-0 as clear as day. Wasn't even close. Terrible corner advice. By the way, Felder, DC, and Anik were good on the mic. And you want to know why? Because it wasn't fucking Rogan on there doing a bunch of bullshit. Rogan would have been creaming his pants this entire card. Because low kicks were pretty prevalent. Costa landed 24 of them. Rogan literally would have been painting the fucking arena white. You know what I mean? It's a graphic image, but you know what I mean. But Paulo Costa, man, great performance. Took Roman Kopylov to fucking school, dude. Roman Kopylov showed that he's just not... I never thought this guy was really top level. Like, he was going life and death with Chris Curtis. And he gets a last-second finish? Like, come on. I never thought he was really that top level. He's good. He's very fast. That's one of the things with Kopylov. He's very fast. He's a sniper. But you can lull him to sleep. And that's what Costa did. He lulled him to sleep with activity, made him think about defense too much, and it cost him. Next fight on the card down was Kevin Holland, D-Rod. This was actually a fun fight. Now, it was sloppy as fuck. Want to make that clear. It was sloppy as fuck, but it was a pretty fun fight. Now, I gotta say, what the fuck is Kevin Holland doing losing to D-Rod in 2025? This was crazy that he lost to D-Rod in 2025. He loses round one, gets outpointed by D-Rod. Very clearly outpointed by D-Rod in round one. And you're like, all right, Holland will build into the fight. D-Rod will tire out. Round two, D-Rod drops Holland twice. Really bad. One with a clean shot on the chin that makes Holland go, whoa. That's the most rocked I've ever seen Kevin Holland, by the way. From fucking Daniel Rodriguez. Gets up, D-Rod's pouring it on. And then he drops him again in round two. Gets to mount and starts ground and pounding him. Does great control and ground and pound. This was a great fight. This really was a great fight. I am stunned that D-Rod performed as well as he did. And Kevin Holland ends up winning round three, fumbles a finish. I don't know how D-Rod survived that round three because Kevin Holland had him hurt so bad, broken, he's exhausted. And Kevin Holland couldn't get the finish. What are you doing going to the clinch? And I don't hate going to the clinch if you're going to land big elbows to break the guard, knees to the body to really continue to wear out a tire opponent, and then start landing the punches. But no, Kevin Holland would go to the clinch, jump, and land a soft knee. He wasn't even landing the knee. He would jump at a slow rate, and the knee would not even touch Daniel Rodriguez. It was so bad. Dumb fight IQ moves from Kevin Holland. He went for a Darce twice that Daniel Rodriguez is very hip to, very aware. Daniel Rodriguez on a 3-fight win streak and just beat a ranked Kevin Holland, by the way. D-Rod's in the rankings. That's fucking crazy here in Big 2025. But yeah, D-Rod looked good, bro. His boxing was good. He was not afraid of Kevin Holland at all. He shortened the range and just beat him up. Shout out Speta, bro. He's like, dude, I got D-Rod winning this one. I think he's just got the heavy hands for him. I'm like, are you kidding me, dude? Kevin Holland's got the chin. He's got the reach. I don't see this going any possible way for Daniel Rodriguez. Kevin Holland gets a finish or he wins a dominant decision. No. I was wrong. D-Rod fucking beats up Kevin Holland. What are we doing, Kevin Holland, bro? This could be one of those things where he's just been too active. Like, where you get in the cage and you're overtrained, you're overworked, and eventually you get tired and your chin's not able to take it because you've taken so many punches in a calendar year. It's like, that's an ugly looking record. He's fucking 67% win rate. It's not that pretty, man. And I respect the fucking activity and like how he wants to fight 6 times in a calendar year. He can win 5 times in 2026, 2025, but dude, like that was just not, I don't know. Not a good performance. He looked really dumb in that one, man. He did. And he almost got Daniel Rodriguez out of there in round 3, but it's fucking D-Rod who's 39 and it's 2025. Like, what are we doing? But the Unks won on this card, and speaking of another Unk that won was fucking Dan Ige, dude. I'm sorry. Sadly, Patricio Pitbull won. This was a boring-ass fight. It really was. Dan Ige was doubling up on the jab, and then Patricio Pitbull would slip, get a takedown. Pitbull was able to take down Dan Ige way too easily early in the fight. Now, in round 3, Dan Ige did a much better job defending a lot of those takedowns. But when they were up there boxing, Ige got hurt, and Patricio Pitbull ended up stealing a moment from him in round 2. And Daniel Cormier, kudos, because he was shitting on Pitbull the whole fucking time until Pitbull actually hurt Ige. He's like, I don't really watch much of Dan Ige, but did he get those finishes after like with random one punches after doing nothing in the fight? Because Pitbull is like very throw a punch, wait 30 seconds. Throw a punch, wait 30 seconds. Feint, feint, feint. Throw a combination, wait 30 seconds. It's like very slow, not even methodical. It's just slow and, very low output. Dan Ige did have a lot more output, but Pitbull was landing better, especially upstairs. Round 2, Pitbull hurt Dan Ige bad. Round 1, Pitbull was able to wrestle Dan Ige and gets that round. Round 2, Pitbull wins easily by hurting Ige. Then round 3, Dan Ige almost finishes Patricio Pitbull with a head kick, where the knee catches the head, and then doesn't end up getting the finish. So Ige wins round 3, does a much better job defending the takedowns in a 5-round fight, and Ige probably wins that 48-47, with the way the tide looks like it was going, but not impressive, man. Well, this was a fucking shit fight. I'm gonna be real, dude. Like, this was not a main card fight. Pitbull's 2 for 2 on fucking boring the shit out of me. And Dan Ige's not usually in these fucking insanely fun fights. You know what I mean? Like, this was the prelim headliner. You needed to have, this should have been the prelim headliner. This should have been the co-main event of the prelims. Because you should have had Brendan Allen and Vinicius Oliveira on the main card. That's what you should have done. Or move Zell Huber and Ige down. That's what it should have been. But the UFC doesn't really know how to make their card, so it is what it is. Michael Johnson, Daniel Zellhuber, Unks still got it, dude. I had a weird feeling. I didn't pick him because I thought that would have been crazy. But I did bet on him to win by round 2 knockout. So close. Dude, it was so fucking close to him chinning Zellhuber, dude. He dropped him bad in round 2. But this was Michael Johnson looking really good, really fast, and Daniel Zellhuber throwing nothing but kicks the whole time. Like, it looks like he had a game plan and he was just never going to go away from that game plan outside of the point where he got dropped. And then he was like, all right, let's fight. And that's when he had his most success, is when they were scrapping it out. But then he goes back to the corner, goes back to Eric Nixick going, dude, let's stick to the game plan, man. Let's stick to the game plan. Let's keep blasting those high kicks, keep blasting those body kicks, and eventually we'll get him. No, you're not. If you do the same tactic, Michael Johnson is hip to it the whole fucking time. And Michael Johnson did a tremendous job of landing to the body. Couple kicks, a lot of punches to the body that were really, really good because he didn't have the range on Zellhuber. And Zellhuber, instead of throwing shit up the middle, just kept throwing that kick up high. And he wasn't having success. It was getting blocked. It was a good job keeping the hands occupied of Michael Johnson at points. But it allowed Michael Johnson to get his boxing going and fucking land and beat Zellhuber. Like, he just beats him to a decision here. It was very, very clear, very easy. 29-28, not very easy, but this is just, like, it's at Extreme Couture, it's weird, bro. And Octagon Oracle, shout out to him, he mentioned this in his story, he goes, it just feels like these guys are always, like, every time they're in their fight, it's just a sparring session in a fight with them, where they're tapping and they're working, they're practicing techniques in the fight. It was too much of an X's and O's performance, dude, of like we should be blasting the high body kick against the head kick and a body kick against the southpaw here. Eventually we'll catch them. We'll keep the hands occupied. But then they forget that they're supposed to fucking box too. Throw your hands in there. Throw a teep kick. Throw front kicks up the middle like you'll land. And they just weren't doing it. It's like they were just practicing high kicks all camp, so that's all he threw. And what I want to say about Extreme Couture is a lot of their fighters get into the fight and it's like a sparring session. We see it with Strickland all the time. I'm starting to wonder if they spar too much in practice to the point where when they're in the cage, everything they do in combat now feels like a sparring session because they're always practicing stuff and sparring. They're always sparring, that when you get into a real fight scenario, it kind of feels a little bit like sparring again. So I don't know. That's just something to keep an eye out for Extreme Couture, because it's been underwhelming, man. They've been struggling a little bit here, so we'll see. But Michael Johnson, Unk gets it done. Great performance. Drops Daniel Zellhuber bad in round 2, almost gets a finish, and then Zellhuber ends up winning in round 3, looking a lot better. So moving on. Kyler Phillips, Vinicius Oliveira, round 1. Kyler Phillips almost gets Vinicius Oliveira out of there. He looked fast. He looked dangerous. But what did I say, bro? This is the Kyler Phillips motto. Gonna win round one. Gonna look very fast, very dangerous, very athletic. Gonna throw the wheel kicks, right? And then in round two and three, he's going to gas out. This is just what happens. And kudos to Vinicius Oliveira for just trudging forward and walking Kyler Phillips down the whole fight. Because in round one, Kyler Phillips did win. He dropped Vinicius Oliveira. Didn't knock him down, but got him hurt pretty bad a couple times with the straight right hand that just couldn't miss early. Vinicius Oliveira stayed in there after the first 3-4 minutes and then just said, all right, time to walk you down. And at the end of the first round, Kyler Phillips looked exhausted already. When is this guy going to learn about pacing himself and cardio and how to make it the whole distance? Because this guy just got dog walked for the last minute of round one and then all of round 2 and 3. This is Vinicius Oliveira, just his classic style, hands down, blasting everything super heavy, heavy low kicks, and then just launching right hands and combinations that are like coming from his, like down at his hip, and he's just winging them, telegraphing them. And like a lot of it's like some of it's missing. Like round 3, he missed a lot, but he was landing a lot at moments too, and he looked like just a scary human being. He's massive in that octagon, dude. He's massive for 135. I don't think this style's gonna work when he gets to face a Sean O'Malley, when he gets to face a Poirier, when he faces a Merab Dvalishvili, because he's gonna get tagged, Umar Nurmagomedov, he's gonna get tagged a lot, and he's going to overswing and he's gonna miss a lot, and it's gonna put him in bad situations because there are openings for him to get hit, and a lot of these guys that are better than Kyler Phillips and that aren't tired after 4 minutes, they're gonna be able to keep this pace going. Now, he walked him down like an absolute animal, but they're gonna be able to keep a better pace than Kyler Phillips. So I don't know. I just kind of look at this fight and go, fuck, Vinicius Oliveira is a ton of fun. There are openings, but he's a monster. He's got a great chin, fun fight style, good cardio for him to be able to walk down and throw crazy like that for 3 rounds. And he did get tired at the end of round 3 there, but he still kept going. He just like threw it into second gear and kept going. Third gear, fourth gear, whatever. And just dog walked Kyler Phillips for the whole fight. It was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. This was an easy pick. So much better than Kyler Phillips, bro. So I think Kyler Phillips is still overrated. Vinicius Oliveira gets it done. Stay tuned for who I'm matchmaking him with next. Marvin Vettori, Brendan Allen. This was everything I wanted it to be and more. This lived up to all the hype. I wanted this to be a fucking slugfest where they both just throw shots back and forth, grudge match. And it was. Brendan Allen hurts Marvin Vettori early. Very early. Breaks his nose. It looks like he broke his nose. Ends up getting a takedown, having great moments in the grappling. Almost gets a submission. Lands some really good ground and pound. They end up getting back to the feet. And then it's just a war. These guys are just trading punches back and forth. No, when I say war, it wasn't like the craziest thing you ever seen. But these guys literally just stood in the pocket, slipped punches, slipped, landed, and it was very, very good. Vettori was having moments for himself where he was working himself into the fight, but Brendan Allen was doing more with all of his punches, and they were landing cleaner. Like, Vettori did have some great 1-2s, but it wasn't really doing anything to Brendan Allen, where Brendan Allen, when he would hit that broken nose, it was over. Vettori was actually wearing damage. At some point, that chin of Vettori's going, dude. I'm telling you. I hate to say it, but at some point, it's going to go. But it is crazy because he was getting whacked with a ton of really good shots. And Brendan Allen, what I want to say is, looked great had much better boxing. The grappling moments were excellent in this fight. They were very, very good, high level. He was able to get takedowns when he wanted them. And his kicks are very good. The body kick is so good. Landing good low kicks, too. He doesn't do it enough, though, bro. It's one of those things where Brendan Allen is so good at fighting, but you see things that he can do in every fight where you're like, do this more, and he doesn't, and he chooses to do the thing that'll get him hurt more. Like, staying in there in boxing, yes, it was fun. Yes, it was great for the fans. Yes, he was having a ton of success in it. He's getting tagged at times, though. Like, Vettori is landing on him. And yes, he's landing back and doing well, but if he stays at kick range a little bit longer, and he lands some good kicks, these rounds are not as close as some of them were. Because Brendan Allen did win 30-27, in my opinion. But rounds were close. Like, 2 and 3 were very, very close rounds. Like, Allen won them, but they were close. The numbers were close, and Vettori was landing where it was like a little too close for comfort for Allen to be fucking around. And Allen was emoting the whole time, which was, I didn't mind it too much because it wasn't like Gene Silva where he's like clapping in your face, giving you high fives, stopping the fight. It's like he lands good and then he goes, and then he keeps going, lands a good low kick. So it wasn't anything too bad, but I don't know, man. Shit made me. I mean, this was everything I wanted to and more, but I just wanted him to throw more kicks. And Marvin Vettori, he's got to fight someone outside the rankings, bro. We can't keep giving him ranked opponents. So anyway, good fight, really good fight. It won fight of the night from Dana. What didn't win fight of the night was this one. This was the worst or second worst fight in the card. I don't know which was worse, this or the Ige fight. You would have thought it would have been the Carly Jadis fight, but nope, we'll get to that later at the end. This was, I kind of scored it for Prado, if I'm being honest. It was close. I'm not upset with this decision. Of course I scored it for Prado. I picked him. I did think Prado won this, though, if I'm going to be real. I don't know. I thought round 2 was a very, very close round, but I thought Prado did enough. He landed some good, and here's why. Round 1's clear, Nikolai Vretnikov. Clear as day. Round 3 is clear as day, Francisco Prado. Destroyed him, and Nikolai Vretnikov was exhausted. So was Prado, but in round 2, this is the swing round, clearly. Vretnikov lands really, really good on Prado, hurting him a couple times. Prado lands really good on Vretnikov, hurting him a couple of times. So it's pretty even on the feet to me. Maybe a touch better for Vretnikov, a touch. Veretenikov, whatever his name is. But Prado then gets control in the grappling where the striking was close enough and Prado's grappling was good enough to win him the round. That's what I personally thought. So I thought Francisco Prado won this one. Not a robbery by any means. Very, very close fight, but it was a shit fight, dude. Like, this was just low level. Prado is so undersized at welterweight, bro. Go back down to lightweight. We understand that their skill is better, but like, you're 23, you'll get better. Go back down to lightweight, bro. Like, you're not a welterweight. And Veretenikov is not good, bro. He should be ashamed with himself in this fight. He lost to a fucking tiny dude and looked ass again. Oh, man, these fights were awesome. Francis Ngannou, welcome back, brother. Ateba Gautier beats the shit out of Robert Valentin in a minute and a half, or less than a minute and a half. He just goes up, walks right forward, starts landing big punches in combination, hurts Robert Valentin bad, and then just tees off him the whole time. Love the fight IQ. He sees Robert Valentin shelling up. He lands uppercuts to split the guard, and then he lands the body shots to drop the arms of Robert Valentin, and then ends up TKOing him in round 1. This was just a fucking monster show. He is nasty, bro. He's better than Ngannou was when Ngannou was this young. Ngannou wasn't in the UFC when he was that young, but this guy's actually going to be a problem. And he has the potential to be like, I don't want to say superstar, but he can become a star if you keep giving him the right matchups and he keeps knocking them all down where everyone's like, dude, Ateba Gautier is the fucking man. Because he is. He's good, bro. His striking's really good. Really good. He's got technique. He's got speed, obviously. He's got power. This guy's a dog. This guy is a fucking dog, bro. Let's get him against someone that can wrestle next. Make sure he can defend the takedowns. Maybe someone that'll take him into round 2 to make sure that he's able to work on his cardio and shit. But this guy is a fucking monster, bro. Monster. Sick performance. Destroyed Robert Valentin. And Robert Valentin's tough. Like, he's not an easy guy to put away. I know Loder did, but Loder kind of just trapped him in a position where he was unable to defend himself, even though Valentin wasn't going out. Then he got smudged by Torres Finney. Ateba Gautier just went out there and beat the shit out of him for a minute 10 seconds. Unreal. Smelled the finish, went and got the finish. Unbelievable. I love the fucking IQ of going to the body when the hands were up, dude. It was so good. Great performance from Ateba Gautier. Absolute monster, bro. Adam Fugic versus Islam Dulatov. Islam Dulatov gets the round 1 KO. Looks really, really good doing it. Tremendous performance. Fugic had a couple moments where he was able to craft it up, dude. He landed some low kicks. He landed a couple of shots upstairs. Nothing too crazy. Was unable to get the takedown. But that's okay, because he was kind of hanging in there for a bit, crafting it up. But Dulatov was just sniping him with the right hand. He really was. Landing very well. And I liked the patience that we were seeing from Dulatov a lot more, too. He wasn't rushing anything. He went up there. And that's the same thing with Ateba Gautier. He didn't rush it. He just kept walking forward at him, started landing him, waited for waiting for Valentin to show a spot. Same thing with Dulatov and Fugic here. Fugic was just like, when he got rocked, you're like, oh boy, oh boy. And Dulatov just, kept fucking putting it on him, man. Like, the patience for him to be able to land the right hand was very good. And the second Fugic overcommitted, he landed the check left hook, and that's what dropped him. So, really good performance from Islam Dulatov. This guy's apparently a major star in Germany. Let's see him keep going, bro. Let's see him keep going. I'd like to see him against tougher comp next, obviously. But yeah, I mean, what a great performance from this guy. 26 years old again. We had a lot of young prospects look really good on this card. So great performance from Islam Dulatov here. Knocks out Adam Fugic in one. Like, can't really beat that. That was really, really good. And Jimmy Crute beats Marcin Prachnio. This was, Prachnio did a pretty good job of landing shots. He threw a lot of volume early. And was able to land, but Crute was able to take it. Nothing of serious consequence was landing on Crute. Crute did a good job taking it, and was able to get the takedowns, did a good job of implementing the grappling, getting the takedowns. And eventually, when he got to a favorable grappling position, he cinches in the armbar and gets a submission. So, really good performance from Jimmy Crute. This guy's good at grappling, bro. He is. And he just keeps going and he gets the takedowns, which is good. And Marcin Prachnio's always had a little hole in his game with the grappling and the submission defense. So Jimmy Crute just clearly exploited it, gets the job done in round 1. It was a really, really good performance, man. Prachnio, again, landed pretty good on the feet. Jimmy Crute landed some good punches. The right hand was very, very good. He wasn't overly accurate, but the right hand was good. But you knew his game plan was to go get the takedown and get the submission, and that's exactly what he did. He almost got an arm triangle a couple times, was threatening other submissions, but yeah, he ends up getting the armbar, and it was very well done. So good performance from Jimmy Crute in a round 1 submission. Another round 1 submission here, the Ryan Gann patented guillotine choke, bro. He looked good in this fight. He was landing on Bursky, did a really, really good job landing straight to the head, hunted him down early and went right at him like he needed to get this finish. He almost gets an arm triangle as well in this fight. And Bursky does a good job of defending, getting that side of the fence. And so Ryan Spann, what does he do? He ends up getting in mount, starting to force Lucas Bursky to turn over to give up the neck, almost gets a rear naked choke. Then Lucas Bursky starts getting up, and Ryan Spann knew he was trying to get up, so he just immediately grabbed that neck and choked him out. Great performance from Ryan Spann. He needed that. All your problems can be solved if you move to heavyweight, man. If you're a light heavyweight and you are struggling, move to heavyweight. It will work. They all have holes in their game. It's really that easy. Ryan Spann destroys Lucas Bursky, beats him up on the feet, then gets him to the ground with a really nice time takedown. It was a very good takedown. And then ends up choking him out with his patented guillotine choke. So great performance by Ryan Spann, dude. Bruno Ferreira, again, looked very, very good. This guy's constantly improving, man. Lands good shots with the punches, going to the body, going to the head. I mean, again, he landed one good one to the body, but it was very notable. Lands a couple low kicks. Cracks Jackson McVeigh in the head pretty good, but then ends up getting a really good takedown. And I thought that's where you don't want to be with Jackson McVeigh. Bruno Ferreira just dominated him. Dominated him in the grappling. Also ends up getting an armbar. Great submission from Bruno Ferreira. Looked great in this fight. Again, looked great in this fight, dude. I mean, it was really a layup of a fight for him, but he looked very, very good. Did a great job. And, you know, he's showing that now dude, this guy is just one of those guys that's just always going to go out there and get finishes. That's his thing. That's his thing. He's patented to go out there and get finishes and reward him with a massive jump up the rankings. I know he was supposed to fight Ikram Aleskarov. I say give him that fight again. Give him the Aleskarov fight. Give him maybe the 14th rank guy. Give him fucking Kopylov next. Like, give him someone that he can fucking beat up on. Give him fucking Marvin Vettori, honestly. Bruno Ferreira versus Marvin Vettori would be a sick fight. So, I'd love to see that one. Dude, maybe I'll do that. We'll see. But Bruno Ferreira deserves a jump up big time. Great performance. And this guy just keeps finishing dudes. How many in a row are we looking at? Like, I know he lost a boost, but finished Stoltzbus. Finished McVeigh right here. Finished Petrosian, finished Phil Haas. Like, this guy goes out there and just finishes people. Finished G-Rod, bro. Like, come on. And then Carly Judice, bro, gets it done in round 3. She just schooled Nicole Cagliari the whole fight. Schooled her for 3 rounds. Ends up landing a devastating knee in round 3 that sits her down and puts her out. Dude, Carly Judice is nasty in the striking. And Nicole Cagliari could not do anything to her. Couldn't even grapple her. She would shoot into the grappling, and Carly Judice was able to defend 7 takedowns. Very, very good. Pieced her up, head, body, really good job, dude. Love the mix up to the body, love going to the head a lot, and then lands a sick knee that puts Cagliari down and ends her. Bro, great performance from Carly Judice. I fuck with Carly Judice, bro. She's going out there and she's finishing girls, dude. I fuck with Carly Judice. This was the recap video. Man, Dustin, last thing, I just want to say thank you, bro. Thank you for all the memories, man. What a card. What a card. 7 out of 10. Pretty solid. We got Abu Dhabi next week. Yes, we got lost Evloev versus Pico on it, but it's going to be a good card. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe.